Hello, my name is Miles McCoy, and this is my presentation on probiotics. In recent years, probiotics have flooded the market with a variety of health claims. More people are seeking natural or non-drug ways to maintain their health. The industry has met these demands by producing probiotics in everything from yogurt to chocolate and granola bars to powders and capsules. Probiotic products have expanded faster than the research, scientists, and doctors. There's an obvious need for more research to better understand the actual benefits of these products. Probiotics. Probiotics are live microorganisms that live in the gut and provide a health benefit for the host. Probiotics strengthen the barrier function of the intestinal wall and boost immunity by stimulating the body's production of natural killer and T cells. In a study done by Berggren, probiotics were used to test whether they could reduce the severe symptoms of the common cold. The severity and number of incidents of the common cold were evaluated in this study. Probiotics have the necessary compounds to be effective antivirals and have anti-inflammatory properties. The body responds to the common cold with an inflammatory response, so with probiotics' anti-inflammatory properties, administration at the time of the cold would be effective. This study used a randomized, double-blind study that was placebo-controlled environment. Probiotics and the common cold. The common cold is mainly caused by the human rhinovirus, which is a relatively mild infection. However, it is responsible for the most absences from work and school combined. It's been estimated that the total annual cost of the common cold is $40 billion per year. The results from Berggren's study were in favor of taking probiotics to lessen the severity of a cold. The intake of probiotics also decreased the amount of time each person was sick. The probiotic group had 21% of its subjects getting sick 2 or more times, while the control group had 33% of the subject getting sick 2 or more times. It also decreased the time spent sick. In the study, subjects were ill for about 6 days on the probiotics, while subjects who were taking the placebo were sick for about 9 days. The gastrointestinal tract, intestinal flora. Intestinal microflora play a crucial role in how your body modulates immunity by turning on the immune response or suppressing it. Studies have shown that certain probiotics can aid in your body's effectiveness when dealing with the immune response. Supplementing Lactobacillus fermentum showed results that suggest it may have the ability to enhance non-specific immune responses. A different strain of bacteria, Lactobacillus casei, had no significant effects on the immune parameters under investigation. So the different strains play a large role in how it affects a person's immunity, because from the Lactobacillus fermentum, showed results that suggest it does have the ability to enhance non-specific immune responses. In a whole, the study from Berggren highlights the need for care when choosing the appropriate strain of probiotics for particular applications. More on the gastrointestinal tract, functional food modulates immune response. There's new molecular biologic techniques for the more accurate identification of intestinal microflora in seminal studies discussed. Functional genomic studies enable the screening for probiotic potential and for investigating the modulated expression of genes involved in a broad range of intestinal functions. Regulation of nutrient uptake and metabolism, mucosal barrier and epithelial cell function, and strengthening of the innate immune system. Commensal bacteria. Probiotics in pregnancy. In another study done by Alpison, pregnant women were given probiotics during the last 4 weeks of pregnancy and continued while nursing. Atopic eczema is a dry skin issue common in babies and children, and the children that were nursing from these mothers were checked for atopic eczema over the course of the first 2 years of their life. The results of this study showed that 23% of infants who were given probiotics developed eczema, while 46% of children who did not receive the probiotics developed eczema. So there's an obvious correlation of the infants who were exposed or given probiotics had a way lower incidence of eczema. New strains of bacteria like Lactobacillus gasseri. These were discovered from new molecular testing that's now available. New strains of bacteria have been identified. These new bacteria are now being tested for efficacy of probiotics. There's an increasing body of evidence that indicates that this strain here, Lactobacillus gasseri, has a significant potential for probiotic application. One important thing is that probiotics need to survive the GI passage and adhere to intestinal epithelial cells, in which this certain strain here shows great potential for surviving the GI passage. The best forms of probiotics are, of course, natural sources. A list of different probiotics are included here. They include live and active cultures of yogurt and kimchi, sauerkraut, miso, tempeh, and kombucha, which is a fermented tea. There's also what I use is a product called Kefir by Lifeway. It's lactose-free, and it contains 12 different live active cultures, a couple of them being Lactobacillus acidophilus, Lactobacillus casei, which are included in my PowerPoint here, and I take this almost every day, and it's delicious. That is good. So, to wrap up my PowerPoint here, I have a conclusion talking about probiotics in the future, prevention, and allergies. I envision people taking probiotics before heading to developed countries to help prevent traveler sickness from contaminated food or water. I also imagine that someday babies born into families where allergies are common, they'll be given specific probiotics to help protect them from developing these allergies. However, at this point, the evidence to strongly recommend probiotics for these applications, we're just not yet there for that. And there needs to be more future research done, which would include more human trials to prove probiotics' claim to have their immune modulatory capacities. These trials must include conclusive, statistically significant effects demonstrated by large multi-center random clinical trials with a statistically reliable number of patients studied. Furthermore, they need to be probiotic strain and dose specific, and their use cannot be generalized to other probiotics or other dose levels. Much work remains done. There is a movement going on in the scientific community to consolidate all of this new basic and applied research from molecular and cellular microbiology to immunologic and clinical nutritional application. And this sums up my presentation. Thank you very much.